Hey guys, welcome to my first video. So I am Kid in the Shed, or Harvey. So you can probably see you are looking down onto my wood lathe. So today I'm going to be turning this block of pine into a nice turner's or carver's mallet. So you may ask, why can't you just use for the sake of a general hammer? Well, it destroys the end of the chisel. And we all know, if you're quite into woodworking, you want to buy expensive chisels because they stay sharp, they don't burr as easily. And I recommend Stanley or some other make. Stanley's a good one, I've always trusted it. A bit rustic because I use them all the time and it's quite damp in my garage or my shed. And as you can see, there's barely any marks on here because I keep using a wooden mallet. Now, the point in using a wooden one is that it damages the mallet, not the actual expensive tool. Now, this on its own is probably a fiver, this one chisel here, if not 15 quid. And really, I would rather take 20 minutes to turn a mallet than go out and buy a brand new chisel. So today I'm going to be turning a mallet, as I said. So I really do hope you enjoy, and yeah. So guys, before we start using any power tools, i.e. the lathe, or even a hammer, or anything else in the workshop, especially with the lathe, I do really highly recommend either picking up one or just using a respirator. Now, you have a gas respirator, and then you have a particle and dust respirator. Now, that's what you want, a particle and dust. And to be totally honest, guys, sawdust knocks minutes off your life, so it's definitely worth that. Now, I paid, I think it was around £30 for that at Countrywide, and I paid about 12 quid for these DeWalt goggles, and these are absolutely amazing because you only have one set of eyes, and once they're gone, well, they're gone. And number one reason why I'm turning this mallet is because when you go to put the live centre in to a piece of work, so like our mallet blank, you want to pound it in. So normally you get a hammer and belt it in. Whereas what happens over time, it chips and damages the end. So you can, a rubber mallet's perfect for this, but a wooden one's even better. And if you haven't got one, and if you're going to turn one today or whenever, like me, just grab any piece of wood, as long as it's reasonably long, and give it a good smack on the top, and it should drive in enough. Now, you only want to make the dents in just something for it to grip in, and then you put all the pressure on with a tailstock. Alright, so you can get centre finders. I've lost mine currently, or I just can't see it. So just get a ruler. This is a shop ruler, and just mark centre of the turning blank. And you want to do it for every corner twice, because the centre is never actually that dead on the first time. As you can see, my first one wasn't actually dead on, so then you want to do that straight to the other side. Okay, and bear in mind, these will, I'm sure they'll be like a hair of a millimetre off, but once you've actually got it down to round, they will be the exact centre of your workpiece. And as I said earlier, what you want to do is get a block of wood, this is pine preferably, and just smack it, and as you can see, there's dents. Oops. There's dents in there straight away, and we've already got some marks, and I'm barely hitting it. So there's one, and then we just repeat it for the other side. So just to quickly say, this is a piece of maple, and this is the pine that I've been using, and this stuff will sort of do the same effect as a hammer because it's such a hard wood. So stick with pine if you're doing this, or at least I do normally. Alright, so now we're going to mount it on between centres. So then we'll just line this up here, and then bring the tailstock into it. Try to get this as exact as you can, even so it is a bit of a pain in the bum. Alright, so that's then between centres. So then lock your tailstock down, which is actually really helpful in my case, because I forgot to. And then wind it in. You can't see but you should be able to see the shadow moving. And a bit more. And then lock the tailstock off. Alright, so that's the piece. That's the piece going. So when I start the lathe up, the camera may start vibrating a bit. Hopefully it won't, but it might. If it does, I apologise. And what you want to do is, before you start the lathe up and you put your tool stock in, your tool rest, sorry, make sure the piece of stock can spin. Otherwise, it will damage your wood, and if it's a hard enough wood, your lathe, in which you probably don't want. So then lock that down nice and tight, and make sure it can spin, in which it can. Alright guys, so I've just got it down to round in that time lapse. I hope it ain't too quick. If it's not, I'll slow it down. So that's probably took me 3 minutes, maybe 4. So now what we're going to do is, there's still a tiny bit of square there, which I'm just going to take off. You can see the different colour variation. So I'm just going to do that with the skew in a minute. And then I'll start marking out where I want the handle to start and the head to start. I'll skew the ends off to make sure they're nice and straight. I'm going to say the handle's going to be probably about that long, and then the mallet that long, because my hand's fairly big. But I'll just mark it from where it is, so I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. Right, so now it's definitely round. There's one uneven spot, but we'll have to make do for now. So now, where's my pencil? Oh, my pencil's buried in sawdust. So now we'll start marking out. Just gonna take my dust mask off. Alright. So we'll skew off there. Right, so these areas here will be skewed off. That's where the handle is going to start. So the handle's here, the mallet head's here. And I'm going to taper the mallet head down to a nice slope. And we'll put the time lapse back on.
To get off that darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too.
So guys, I've got the majority of the handle done on the mallet. It's quite a nice chunky handle. And I don't know what the heck's happening here. I keep hitting something. I think it's a knot. And it's actually got quite a bit of sap in. So I have to sort that out. So now I'll start on the head, and to be totally honest with you, I think I might just shorten the head and leave it as long as it is. No, shorten head and leave it as thick as it is, because it seems quite a nice. It seems quite a nice amount of weight to have. I haven't had it off the lathe yet, so I might try it in a second. So I'm gonna have a go and see what it feels like. Alright, so I've had a quick look at it, and I've also consulted with my parents, or my dad, for a matter of fact. So we both decided on that. I might need to thin the handle down a bit, and I'm going to bring the handle up a bit longer to about there, because so far it feels a bit chubby. I'm always going to be getting rid of these notches, so don't worry about that. So let's get on.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground.
Alright, so I've got to move the tool rest, and it's stuck because of all the pressure. So I had to take a hammer to the lathe. So I'm really happy with how the shape of the head's turned out. The end will feel really good when this little notch is gone. So what I'm going to do now is try and clear this out so I can actually move it. That's better. And pull it out a bit more and get it in there. You're probably thinking, well, that's a very odd angle I put it at, and all it is for is so I can clean the ends of the mallet up. Alright, let's get turning.
Gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky.
Alright, so now it's going to be time to start sanding the mallet. Overall, I'm really happy with it. So let's just take the tool rest off completely. There's maybe a bit over the top, and once again the tool is stuck. Alright, I've got it undone. Alright, so I'll go get sandpaper. So guys, at this stage it is really important, especially if you're in a garage with the door shut like me, or a very confined space, to wear some form of dust protection. Obviously I'm wearing these goggles and this mask here. Yeah. Now obviously, as I said earlier, I recommend the mask more than anything. And even one of those little paper masks that will knock the dust off a bit. So let's get sanding. Alright guys, just a quick note, because I'm not using Turner sandpaper, it's just regular sandpaper. A, it will clog up very quickly, as you can probably see, and B, it will get very hot, so I do recommend either putting something on the back or folding it over. So I'm going to start from 60, work my way out to about 120, and then just polish it off there. Alright, just to be clear, there's a few gouges, and obviously when you're turning pine, honestly pine is not the best wood to be turning. This is just a mallet where I can abuse it and really hit tools and dead centers in. After this is finished with, I'll just turn another one, maybe out of hardwood, I'm not sure. But now I'm gonna part these off. So, considering this is my first video, my shop's a bit of a mess, or at least it was clean at the start of the day, I admit. So this is my turning station at the current moment. You're probably thinking, well, what's that and what's that? So that and that. Basically, what that is it's just a stand that I made early on today. I just threw it together, so really it took me 10 minutes at the most. And then I have 2 blocks and a little strap there. So that's just a halogen work light. And when you're on the boom, it's okay. But once we plug the light in, it's really nice and bright. So, excuse all the machinery outside. So that's what that is. So then this is my overhead camera mount, or iPhone mount, because currently I'm recording on the 6S. And I just bodged this together today as well. And then the tape, so basically you come on here, and then the tape wraps up around the phone. By you I meant the phone. So this is right at the end of the project where I'm just about to sand that off. This is what it currently looks like. Absolutely covered in dust. Now, this is incredibly hot currently. It's because the bearings inside, I should imagine, have heated up. So it's cooling down. But I've never felt this get so hot in my life. That is really, really hot. So that's me done for turning today. I'm gonna have to give this a rest. I might come back out at around 9 tonight. And you probably wonder, why the heck is there masking tape there? Basically, because I was spinning such a big block. Well, I didn't cut the corners off the block. Normally it has that sat on. Oops. And it just hooks in and sits with its own weight. And it was rattling at the start of the video, and it would just destroy the audio. So I just covered that up so no dust or anything gets in. And all it is in there is the pulleys for the speed of the live centre. So let's go clean the ends of this mallet up, which we just turned. So guys, for the final finish, I'm just going to use some teak oil. I'm just going to rub it in with some cloth. Alright, so it finishes on. I think it turned out pretty nice. Feels really nice in the hand. And you can just see there's a slide taper at the front down there. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment and share. And bye for now.
When you want to get off that darkest ground, but gravity